Well, Mike DeLashmit joins us from Rolla, and you don't look like you're in a phone booth today, Mike. Good morning to you.
Good morning, John. No phone booth here today. We're actually doing our show this morning from the Cohen Architectural Woodworking business, and up in the conference room. And I'll introduce my guests, but we've got the owners and some of their workers with us today. So we'll get a chance to visit with them in just a second. Just wanted to know anything, big takes on some of the latest political things that you've noticed on TV?
No, yeah, I've been following it all, but
I'm just trying to get you in trouble.
Big things, the NFL, and Trump's getting into those little spats with every little thing that doesn't matter. It seems like that's what he does. So
I know.
And so
he
sometimes
does it on purpose, John.
Yeah.
He does it to keep the media off balance. He doesn't want them to try to zero. He'll just do that just to give them some rabbit to chase, I think.
Well, yeah, you talk about the NFL, you're no longer talking about Russia, you're no longer talking about North Korea, you're no longer talking about any of that stuff. So they just talk about the NFL and what's going on with that. And they're meeting today. NFL people they're meeting today with some of their key kneelers. That's what I call them. Some of their key kneelers are going to be there. I don't.
Oh man, it just amazes me. It'd be like for us to take and say, "Oh, all of you out there that are listening to the radio this morning, we're going to figure out a way to just really tick you off, okay? Yeah. And then we still want you to come and listen to the radio." Yeah. Or watch the television, right?
And and you can't, if you work for Fidelity, Mr. Cohen there has people work for him. You don't show up at political rallies wearing your Fidelity shirt and kneel during the national anthem or do those sorts of things. You're representing Fidelity. These people are wearing uniforms representing that team, and they're kneeling representing that team. They work for those guys, and I don't know why they have to have a meeting with some of their special kneelers. I think they ought to just say either stand up or get out.
But, I hear you. But anyway, it's just crazy.
I haven't watched. My wife told me you were the biggest NFL fan. I go, yep. Haven't watched a game this year. Not going to.
Not going to. That's right.
So I don't know what I got left to do. I've already banned Hollywood. I'm protesting Hollywood now. I'm protesting the NFL. I got nothing to do. I watched Missouri though on Saturday. Well, I listened to them on my way home from down at Monette and. Watched part of them at the end, so I listened to the best part. The second half wasn't so good.
That's it. Well, hey, I wanted to get in this morning and get to visiting with some of our folks. I got Phil and Jenna Cohen here, and Noah, their son, and I've got a couple of their workers, Justin and Rob. But we're here in the plant, and they're celebrating 35 years.
How about that?
In business and all kinds of fun stuff.
Are they Cubs fans? The Cubs fans or what?
I actually grew up in Chicago, and I have dual citizenship. So when the Cubs win, I'm for them, and when the Cardinals win, I'm for them.
We have some.
Oh, that sounds like me. I used to live 3 blocks from Wrigley Field.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I'm only a Cubs fan when they're winning and the Cardinals are out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that.
My wife, we have some friends out in Los Angeles, and my wife sent them a note saying, we're rooting for Los Angeles now. And they said, that's only because you hate the Cubs worse than you do Los Angeles. That's
there you go.
But the Cubs are going to have to win tonight, though, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're down 2.
They're down 2. They're going to have to win now. So
got to get it back in. I was just thinking, one of the reasons I wanted to come over and visit with Phil, did you know that he is the business person of the year for the whole state of Missouri?
Well, how about that?
For 2017.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I met Linda McMahon.
Really?
And I don't know if you've seen the video clip of when Donald was shaving Vince's head in the ring.
Yeah.
So I asked her if Vince is going to shave Donald's head now. I said, how many people say that? She said, I'm the first one.
Yeah. Well, I think you just have to pull it off, maybe. I don't know.
Yes, it is. But it's kind of neat because I said one of the things is you guys have been in Missouri for a very long time, even though you might have been from Chicago. How long have you been here?
Well, 98 is when we moved down to Summersville, and then we moved up here about 2004.
Wow. Okay. Well,
and what do you actually do in your business?
We build cabinets for commercial applications. Like if you go in the Mercy Clinic or the Delbert Day Cancer Center, that's our work.
Wow.
And we build cabinets for, it's all commercial. We do a lot of healthcare. When the Wichita Airport, we did some of that work. We've done some hotel work.
So you sell directly to the people?
Yeah, we sell direct to the owner company sometimes, and then sometimes we sell through contractors.
And you've got how many people work for you then?
We have about 85 right now.
Oh, so that's a good number. You're a small business. You got to deal with things like insurance, don't you?
Yeah. We started as a small family business, and we didn't have any of that, so it's been a huge learning curve.
And is that I mean, that's a real strain on the business sometimes, isn't it? I know you want to provide your people with good things and that sort of thing, but it's still a strain, isn't it?
Yeah, after you do all the other compliance stuff and the taxes, there's not much left at the end. We have people who think that, we keep 50 cents out of about every dollar, and we're doing well to save 3 or 5 or 10 cents out of every dollar.
Yeah, you're just you hope to get a paycheck every week, right?
Yeah. Well, with that, do you think some of these new tax things they're talking about can help you?
I hope so. I think I'm going to get a little political, but I think if the government would just lower business taxes, and it would force businesses to become more competitive, which would force wages to go up, because we'd be competing for workers. But when you have a subsidy, a grant, it takes so much red tape to get the grant, and so there's so much money that gets grabbed from the top, skimmed from the top along the way, that there's not much left when you get it, if you get it. So I think lowering taxes could help. Of course, I'm not smart enough to know if it would, but it seems like a good idea.
I think it's a good idea too. Are you having trouble finding workers? I mean, I went through Lebanon again this week, and I've been through it several times, but like I said, we was down at Monette doing a softball game. And I came through Lebanon, and every one of those boat places had signs on them. Some of them, starting at $15 an hour. From one of them said from $12 to $16 an hour plus benefits. I mean, they can't find workers. Are you having trouble finding workers?
No, not at all. We set out to become the employer of choice in our region and our industry, and we have a lot of good practices here that we have a waiting list for people to get in with our hiring practices, our onboarding practices, and the type of people we hire. We typically, if they check the box of being a felon, that doesn't matter to us.
Uh-huh.
As long as they're willing to draw a line on the past and start becoming the person they're supposed to be, and we help them get there. And so a lot of those people, they're ready to go to work. They have a strong work ethic, and when they see here's an opportunity for a new life, they work hard, they conquer whatever gets in their way, and they're loyal.
And that's
we have some of the highest positions in our company are people that just came here out of prison or off of rehab.
And that's never backfired on you yet?
No. What backfires probably more often is when people come with resumes.
Uh-huh.
And their resume isn't who they really are when you get down to putting the heat on.
Well, I would think those people would appreciate somebody that gave them a chance and somebody that gave them a job and treat you better than they would anybody else at that point.
Yeah, well, the bottom line, and there's some press out there on us now about how we have a program, and we really don't. That was my background. I came from drugs and violence and crime. And so we're really just giving each other a chance. And it's not really about giving each other a chance. It's like we're just trying to have a new life here. We're working together to create a new life. Families is really important to us. 85 people in the building, I seriously doubt that more than 10 people in this building even know what a good family looks like. So that's a lot of what we do, is invest in the workers and their families so that they can have a better family life. And when people have a good family life that they didn't know they could have, they're hardworking, they produce good work, and they're loyal. And it's just a win for everybody.
We're kind of I think we're in a building boom right now. We've got some houses going up here behind us, and there's some houses being built. Is it the same with the industry? You're dealing with the industry a lot. And did you go through a period there where you wondered if you was going to make it or not because there wasn't anything being built?
Back around 2011, we did. It was rough. And the commercial construction industry is actually a trailing indicator on the economy, and residential is a leading indicator. So there was a gap for when our recession hit, but we dropped off bad and didn't know if we were going to lose our company. And right around then actually was when we it was kind of, I have a lot of mentors and business coaches, and one of my coaches, I'm a Christian. I read the Bible every day, I journal, and I'm on this search for how to usually actually use the Bible and grow myself. And we decided to just try this experiment and see if what would be like to be a faith-based company, and to use the Bible and prayer as a guide for how to guide a company.
Uh-huh.
And then we still have mentors. We read a lot of books, and that was a big turnaround for us. I think some of our steepest growth came from that. For one thing, to know that you have a God to turn to release the stress, that you can unload the stress on Him. But the Bible has so much great guidance for how to run a business. I mean, I tell people, when you go to the eye doctor and you cover one eye, and I tell people, read the Bible and cover your church eye, and try to read it and see how it could apply in everyday life. And that's a lot what we do here. And we have a group of us, a small group of us who study the Bible. We take notes and we journal around how to do this. And so it's not like one person just telling everybody. We collaborate together. And it's amazing what it's doing. We've got a drama-free workplace, and woodworking itself is very therapeutic. That's why I started woodworking. I had come off of drugs and my father's suicide and all the violence I grew up in, and I was working with wood because it was therapeutic. It was just healing. So you take a workplace where people are doing something therapeutic with their hands, and then people care about each other. And we have a drama-free policy here. If you have a problem with somebody, you resolve it within 24 hours. You put all that together and people grow. And we have people, like I said, standing in line to come in. And we're not a nonprofit. We do pay generously. We try to match or exceed the local wages. So that's a lot what we're building on. It's a daily challenge.
You went through that period in 2011. When did you start climbing out of that?
It was a gradual climb. Part of the problem was that we only had one primary customer, and that was Walmart, and we had built about 850 projects for them.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't know how to get out of it. It's almost like being in orbit around a planet, and you've got to find other planets to orbit around. So it took actually going in the hole and losing money that year, and then we found some good mentors. But we gradually just started climbing out of it, and I got into some CEO peer groups. I highly recommend people get good mentors and be in groups of peers where you meet regularly and you talk about your struggles. So I was in a group in Kansas City of 15 CEOs and business owners, and we helped each other solve our problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some great mentors too. I call them mountain guides, people who have climbed the mountains that I'm facing, so I don't have to figure out how to climb my mountains. We have one in Utah and one in St. Louis.
Well, in the business you're in, building cabinets, you've always got to find new customers, don't you?
Yes.
So do you have a team out there looking for new customers, or do they call you? Or what? Yeah.
No, well, we currently have a LinkedIn campaign, and a lot of it we try to build it through networking. If you can imagine, we started doing commercial work in about 1984, so we've maintained a good reputation among our customers since then. But it's hard. A company our size, we typically do large jobs because we only want to work with some of the best contractors like McCarthy and J.E. Dunn, and then we work with Mercy, and we're talking to Southwest Airlines. So they're large customers, and we have to build a huge infrastructure to be able to handle customers that large. Otherwise, you work with a lot of small customers where you have to be the low bidder, and it's extremely turbulent.
Now, do you build everything from scratch? I mean, you start, from the beginning with your product?
Yeah, we actually do a lot of the design work. We have an engineering department here, and we work directly with the architects.
And where do you get your wood?
We have we use lean manufacturing techniques, and one of them was Edwards Deming was the granddaddy of that, and single sourcing. And so we try to buy from one source as much as possible. And we buy from a company, Compy Distributors out of St. Louis.
Uh-huh.
And we don't use wood. We do, it's all plastic laminate and solid surface like Formica and Corian.
Yeah. So it's going to last then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's more structural, it's more engineered, and anymore the way the woodworking industry is. When I used to do it, I did everything from furniture to porch swings to commercial work. But anymore, you've got to be niched if you want to make it. So we have large digital equipment out there that is just specifically for this type of work.
Tell me about your award that you got.
Well, it was crazy. I got a call one day from somebody in St. Louis and said, "You're the small business person of the year from Missouri." And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with it. And actually, my first reaction was, of all the people who won awards, and then their head got big, and that was the end of them. And so I wanted to know, how do you deal with the narcissism of all this? and I went to Washington D.C. and got the award there, and then came back to St. Louis. And of course, in D.C., I met a lot of people who I don't feel like ever faced the narcissism of power and position, and I was glad to get back.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to try to get awards, and it was kind of a dirty feeling, and I just said, if people want to give me an award, that's up to them. And so when somebody gives me an award, I try to make them proud that they gave it to me, and give it back to them and honor them for giving it to me. And then someone said the best way to receive an award is to just roll up your sleeves and thank them, and go roll up your sleeves and go back to work.
Yeah, don't forget what got you there, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, hey, speaking of, we probably need to mention some of the fine folks that take care of us today and make this show possible. And I know that we're going to get to hear from Price Chopper in just a second. Why don't we start with them if they're ready to tell us what they've got going on this week?
All right, we'll go to the Price Chopper ad here, I think, right now.
Buy groceries online at Price Chopper. Look, I'm buying cabbage. Oh no, I forgot milk at the back of the store. Long lines at the checkout, pull up, and they bring the groceries right out to your car.
3-pound bag, best choice frozen chicken breast fillets or tenders, $3.99. Limit 3, please. 6 to 8 pound whole boneless pork loin, $1.69 a pound. Jonah Gold apples, 58 cents a pound. Beefsteak tomatoes, 68 cents a pound. And family pack fresh ground chuck, $2.69 a pound.
Price Chopper, saving you more.
All right, there you go. That's the Price Chopper. You got some other sponsors as well, Mike.
Talking out at Paul's Furniture yesterday on South 63 out of Rolla, visiting with Pam. They are remodeling that whole store. They're putting in new lighting. But here's the really neat part. They need more room because as they remodel and put in new lights, they're having to move furniture. So that being the case, she said that all of the rugs on the floor are 50% off. Their pictures and wall hangings, clocks, and all those things are 50% off because they're going to redo those walls. And if they're going to take them down, they just soon take them down and let somebody take them home, and then not have to keep moving them around. There's also a ton of bargains. You know, they're already got great low prices out there. That, you know, but they have lots of bargains that are because of all this remodeling. They just need to get stuff moved out and get their inventory down so that they have room to do the remodel. Washer and dryer set, heavy duty. I believe it's in Amana, $6.99 for the set. So you need to slip out to Paul's Furniture and see all the fun stuff that they have out there. If you're looking to buy some furniture, go talk to them out there. Talk to any of the folks out there. They don't work on commission, and they will give you the best prices. So go out and see them, find out what specials they have. You see something and say, hey, it's not tied down. I think I'd like that. They'll probably sell it to you. Paul's Furniture, South 63. And then again, a guaranteed green plantscaping. They'll give your office an absolutely beautiful look as they bring in plants. And then also this is the Christmas time, so guaranteed Christmas. 201-8042, Renee Hale will get you taken care of on that, and she will come in, set it up, take it down, store it away, and it's 100% tax deductible lease. So go talk to Renee Hale. 201-8042, guaranteed green and guaranteed Christmas.
Well, not that Phil wasn't good looking, but things are looking up next to you there now, Mike.
I know. This is Jenna, and you are. Come on. The
HR
other-
director, his wife.
I know she's the good half of this deal, John.
She's the reason it's successful, right?
That's right. She keeps him in line. Between the Lord and her, I'm sure they probably keep him in line.
Yeah. So Jenna, tell me about the business. What's your part of the business?
Well, currently I take over the HR portion of it. But in the earlier days, I did bookwork, I did cleanup, I held the cabinets together while Phil screwed them shut. Just anything that was needed. I held the end of the board in our basement when he was cutting because we had to kind of pivot it around a post on gravel floor. So we had some very crude beginnings.
Yeah, when you start a new business, I mean, that sometimes you have to do that, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
So tell me about HR. You know, it sounds like it's not that difficult there with the people wanting to work there and the people wanting to stay there and dealing with problems.
I think the biggest key for us in the success is the great team that we have. It's and the fact that we hold a high standard of no drama helps deal with problems as they come up to where they don't fester, into something that's unmanageable. We're constantly challenged by new things, but it's not an overwhelming situation.
Right. Now, do you have other family members in the business?
Yes, we've got 4 of our kids are owners full time in the business, very active. We have another who is part-time, another son who is part-time, and we have a daughter in Hawaii that handles our marketing, a daughter in Kansas City who does our graphics and photography, and I guess any of the others that jump in with ideas, we welcome.
Well, you got to stay in business, or the whole family's going to starve to death, don't you?
That's it. And I've got one of their sons with us here too, and I really want to make sure that Noah gets on because he needs to tell us what's happening on Friday and Saturday before we run out of time here. I've got a couple other their employees that have been here since the very beginning, but I'm thinking that we're probably going to run out of time.
You better move them in because we're going to, we got about 6 minutes left. So
hey, at least ways you get to see, why don't you tell me how long you've been here, and slip over here. You're going to have to get on the screen. We'll let Jenna get up for a second. And
thank you, Jenna.
Jump in here. Tell me who you are and how long you've been with.
I'm Justin. I've been with the company for about 8 years. I'm the plant manager, so I work on the plant, producing the work that we do.
Keep things going out there, right?
We try.
So what do you get to start with? I mean, you just come in with a plan, you come in with a drawing. How does the whole thing get started?
Yeah, we have an engineering team that produces all of the drawings and programs. We run everything on CNC machines. A lot of our processing is automated, and then we run it through. We run anywhere from 150 to 200 cabinets a day. I mean, some days less, but wow.
So yeah, how many different projects is that? It could be several companies at once then, right?
They usually, most projects average between 150 and 200.
Yeah. So that's a lot of things to keep up with. How big of an area do you have there? Like your floor plan?
54,000 square feet.
Yeah, so it's a big area. And you've got how many workers out there?
Right now we're close to 50.
So you got to keep those guys busy out in the shop. Yeah. And that's not counting the other workers that are out and about doing things outside the shop too. So.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Justin.
All right. Well, Justin, thank you for swinging by. What do we got, John? About 2 or 3 minutes?
4 minutes.
4 minutes? All right. Did you want to be on? Say hi. Just real quick, tell us who you are and what you do, and then we're going to have Noah close up on this.
My name is Rob, and I've kind of Justin's other half, but we kind of partner up. He gets the production done, and my area of responsibility is working with a warehouse team that brings materials in. I'm the buyer for the company, and also oversee the team that ships everything out. So we've got a lot of logistics we do.
You got a lot of trucks coming in and out all the time, I guess, both ways, bringing material in and then taking the finished product out.
Yep.
Yeah, that can be a problem, just getting room for those guys to back in and out all the time, can't it?
It's a balancing act.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. All right, Rob, thank you.
All right, well, thank you. And then I want Noah. Again, Noah's also has the last name Cohen, and he is going to tell us about something really neat that's coming up this weekend.
All right.
And where are you and the kids?
I'm the oldest.
The oldest. All right, there you go.
All right.
Okay, well, this weekend, this Friday, we are having our 35th anniversary celebration, and it is also a grand opening of our new building. We recently added about 33,000 square feet to our plant. It's on Friday. It's kind of a networking event. We'll have like businesses come, different people, and we're going to have live music. St. James Winery and Brewery will be providing wine and beer. And then on Saturday, it's kind of a fun event for the family. We're going to have ice cream, face painting, drawings and prizes, games, all kinds of cool things for kids to do.
And that starts what time on Saturday?
On Saturday, it starts at 1.
1 o'clock, from 1 to 4.
And where's the address? I mean, where is your business?
Our business is in the Industrial Park in St. James. Our address is 9 Industrial Drive, St. James, Missouri.
All right, so people can stop by St. James and congratulate you on everything that's been going on. You must be proud of your father, Phil, for winning that award as well.
Sure am.
Yeah, he was kind of humble about it, but that's quite an award that he took.
Well, there's a saying: when the leader gets better, everyone gets better.
Yeah, there you go. That's very good, Noah. So, okay, this is coming up this coming Saturday. You're going to have music. You're going to have a lot of things going on. You got a new building or going into another part of your building. So, Industrial Park in St. James. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate it. All right, Mike, we're out of time. So
I know.
You took
John,
it to the last second.
Absolutely fabulous day.
So, your sponsors real quick.
And my sponsor, Guaranteed Green and Landscaping, Paul's Furniture, and my just went to night town and country, Price Chopper, out on Forum Drive. Be sure to check out their great deals this week.
All right, Mike. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, John.
Mike DeLashmitt in the office of Cohen's there in St. James, Missouri. So get in there and visit with those folks. And if you ever need cabinet work or some of that kind of work, evidently those are the guys to see for that.